Hello everyone, the course name is Banking Regulation and Operations. The unit is Banker and Customer Relationship, and the topic that I'll be covering is joint stock companies with limited liability accounts. So what is a joint stock company? The meaning of a joint stock company. A joint stock company is defined as an artificial person recognized by law with a common capital, common seal comprising of shares of fixed value, having limited liability and carrying perpetual existence. So from this meaning or definition, we can very well define the various features of a joint stock company. So the next slide is on the features of the joint stock company. Coming to the various features, the first feature is the legal formation. See, no single individual or a group of individuals can start a business and call it as a joint stock company. Okay, so a joint stock company comes into existence only when it has been registered after completion of all the formalities required by the Indian Companies Act of 1956. Okay, coming to the second feature, which is an artificial person. So see, just like an individual who takes birth, grows, who enters into relationships and dies, a joint stock company also takes birth, grows, enters into relationships and dies. However, it is called an artificial person as its birth, existence and death are regulated by law, and it does not possess physical attributes like that of a normal person. Coming to the third feature of the joint stock company, which is a separate legal entity. Like we have already mentioned that no, joint stock company is an artificial person. Hence, being an artificial person, a joint stock company has its own separate existence independent of its members. Okay, it means that a joint stock company can own property, it can enter into a contract, or it can conduct any lawful business in its own name. Okay, and it can be sued, and it can sue. Like if the company feels that someone has not exercised a particular contract in which the company was also a partner, then obviously the company can sue that other person for not exercising his right under a contract or his obligation under a contract. Similarly, if someone feels that the company has issued a check and the check was dishonored, obviously I can go and sue that particular company. So this is why we call company as a separate legal entity and as an artificial person. Coming to the fourth feature, which is on common seal. A joint stock company has a seal which is used while dealing with others or no, entering into contract with outsiders. So it is called a common seal as it can be used by any officer at any level of the organization who is working on behalf of the company. So any document on which the company seal is put and duly signed by any of the official of the company becomes binding on the company. So I can explain this using an example. Okay, suppose there is a um, production manager or the purchase manager, okay, and he has entered into a contract for the purchase of some raw materials from some suppliers, okay, and while entering into a contract he has signed that particular contract and put the company's signature or seal on that, right? In that case, the purchase manager may at some point of time he might leave the company, or he might resign, or he might have been forced to quit the company. Even in that case, the company will be liable to exercise its right or duty under that particular contract because the company's seal was put by this person in that contract, right? So whether the person is there or not does not matter. The company's seal, if once used, means the company will be held responsible for exercising its obligation under that particular contract. So that is what is the importance of a common seal. The fifth feature says the perpetual existence of a joint stock company. It says that a joint stock company continues to exist as long as it fulfills the requirements of law. That means it is not affected by the death, lunacy, insolvency, or retirement of any of its members. So even if one of the member or all the members of the particular company, dies in an accident or something, even then the company will not cease to exist. Its existence will still be there, and the shareholdership or the ownership passes off to the legal heirs of the deceased members. So this is how a company continues to exist, right? And the last feature is limited liability. So in a joint stock company, the liability of the member is limited to the extent of the value of shares held by that person. So while repaying debts, okay, so while repaying debts, he is liable only up to the amount of his shares in that particular company. For example, if I am one of the shareholders of the company, okay, and I am owning 1,000 shares of 100 rupees each. Okay, in that case, my total investment that particular company is equivalent to 1 lakh rupee, right? So limited liability says that even if the company is going to a loss or is declared bankrupt, my liability towards that liability of the company is limited to the amount of that 1 lakh that I hold as shares in that particular company. So these are the various features of a joint stock company. Coming to the next slide, which talks about the various precautions to be taken by a banker while opening the account of a joint stock company. So whenever a banker or a bank opens a joint stock account, joint stock company's account, it needs to get the following documents properly. First one is the certificate of incorporation. Second one is the copies of memorandum of association and the articles of association. Third one is a resolution passed by board of directors. The importance of resolution is that it states who all will be the authorized signatories in that particular account, and also about the mode of operation of that particular account. So these are all the things which are mentioned in the resolution that is passed by the board of directors. The fourth document is duly filled in account opening form with the mode of operation clearly mentioned in that. The fifth document which is required is the PAN card of the company. If the company does not have a PAN card, then the form 60 or the 61 needs to be submitted along with the account opening form. The next documents is the name and addresses of all the directors of the company on its letterhead, signed by at least 2 directors or the company secretary. And the last document that is required for opening a joint stock company account is a passport size photo and the ID proof of all the authorized signatories of the BOD members, right? And coming to the various precautions that the banker needs to take while operating a particular joint stock company account. In order to make a company liable for a check or any other negotiable instrument, it must appear on the face of such instrument that it was drawn, accepted, or made on behalf of the company. This is what I had defined in that particular feature called common seal. So unless the common seal is present, even the check will not be considered as a valid check which represents that particular company. So a common seal is required for any instrument that is issued on behalf of a company. Then only the company can be held responsible for that particular negotiable instruments acceptance. Then coming to the next precaution, the banker should not mix the company's account with the individual accounts of the BOD members. So suppose a person is chairman of the particular company. Even in that case, the company's account cannot be mixed with the individual account of that particular person who is the chairman. So a company's account is a separate legal entity. Because the company is a separate legal entity, it is a completely separate account and it cannot be clubbed with the individual account of the board of directors. And in case the company decides to wind up and announces the liquidation procedure, then normally from that point of time, the power of the board of directors ceases to exist, and therefore the account of that particular company should be closed by the banker. And in that case, the court will normally appoint as a liquidator to finish off the process of liquidation. So these are the various features and precautions to be taken care of while the banker operates a particular joint stock company's account. Thank you.